Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Ken and I'm on a journey to lose as much weight as I possibly can so I can become a fat guy no more. Well, as I sit now, I'm just a little shy of 2 days away from my first 5K. I know that I said in my last video that my next one would be about the 5K. That's not this one, obviously, since it hasn't happened yet. But I did want to sneak another video in here and talk about a couple things. But before I do that, as always, I want to say thank you for coming by and watching this video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. If you would, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So this past Monday was the running of the Boston Marathon, also known as Patriots Day in the New England states. As a Boston Red Sox fan, that always means an early morning game. So those years that I've had Patriots Day off, I've loved to get up early, especially when I lived in the Pacific Northwest, because that meant a really early morning baseball game. So that was always fantastic. But it also means the running of the Boston Marathon. And to me, most times, okay, runners, yay. It was never my thing, right? Because even doing what I'm about to do was not even a glimmer of a thought in my head, like ever, right? So the Boston Marathon was always one of those things that the Red Sox played early that day, and then you'd always see them running by out there on, is it Boylston or Lansdowne, whichever road it is out there, right? I can't remember which one. It goes by the big Sitco sign out there, right, where they run. So that's one of those things that always sticks in my mind, but it's mostly because it's an early morning baseball game day, and of course Patriots Day. Well, this year, one of my favorite YouTubers, Mark from Stache, I don't know if you watch his stuff, that guy is absolutely amazing. Man, from the moment I started watching his stuff, his content is just fantastic to me because he's part cook, part chef, part mad scientist, because he can take, literally he could take like a can of chickpeas and turn it into something amazing. A recent video of his, he took some soybeans and turned it into a chocolate bar. That's right, soybeans into a chocolate bar, and I cannot wait to find the time to be able to try that one, because I've done several. I don't even know how many. I really don't know how many of the things that he's done through the years. Some of my cooking with Ken's has been inspired by Mark from Stache. Well, Mark has gone through quite a bit of a transformation himself. He's lost pretty good amount of weight as well, and he has become a runner, something that I know I'll never be able to do, and that's mostly because of the braces on my feet and legs, because of how bad my ankles and feet are, right? So I'm perfectly fine with that, but I love drawing inspiration from other people like Mark. So he has decided that he's going to go out and run, I think it's the 7 major marathons, right? So this past Monday, I was able to track him as he ran the Boston Marathon. They have an app. I just looked up his name in that app, and there it was. So I sat at work, and it was prison week for me. Well, partial prison week for me. So I was in the building, and ever so often I'd grab my phone and I'd take a look just to see how he was doing. So virtually from here in Oklahoma City, I got to root Mark on as he ran the Boston Marathon. I mean, I've never met the guy. We'll probably never meet the guy, but he is absolutely fantastic. He, again, like I said, is a big inspiration to me, not only because of the weight loss, but because he keeps moving forward, and everything he does just keeps striving to get better and better and better. And again, the way he cooks, healthy, clean eating, vegan most of the time, if not all of the time. I can't remember some time that I haven't seen him make something vegan. Just absolutely fantastic, and that's stuff I love. I love his content. It is a must watch for me. Every time I get that bing, that notification that he's put out another video, I look forward to it. So like I said, this last week, I'm like, okay, how's he going to do this? On his thumbnail, he's got a handful of soybeans, and he's got a chocolate bar in the other hand. I'm like, there's just, oh, wow. Yeah, check that out, man. By the end of that video, I'm like, I can't wait to do that. The guy is very inspiring in so many ways, because it is much healthier than eating something full of sugar, and it gives you what you need, that little something sweet to get you through. And that's a good way to stay on a program, and I understand that. So does Mark, I'm sure. If you're not watching his stuff, seriously, go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description of this video so you can go check him out. If you already are, drop a comment down below and let me know what your favorite recipe of Mark's is, something he's made that you really like. And if I haven't already, maybe I'll check it out. So while tracking him running the Boston Marathon, sitting there at work on Monday, I got to thinking, I wonder if there's any way to track me when I'm doing the 5K, right? couldn't help but notice that he finished it in like 3.5 hours, a little over 3.5 hours. And I know that it's probably going to take me about an hour and a half to do the 5K versus, 26.2 that he did. But it's not a competition. I just simply want to be able to complete it, right? I was sitting there wondering about that. So I looked it up. I did a Google search, and sure enough, via their app, you can do that. Now, I saw that feature on there, but I thought it was just like for us, I didn't know. I've never done this before. So I found out that you absolutely can. You can either download the app or you can do it on their website. And so I put together a little clip here that I want to show you that in case you want to follow along. It does start at 7 a.m. Saturday morning, April 26th, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, that is. So if you want to track me, you can. Of course, again, I told you it's probably going to take at least an hour and a half from start to finish for me. Maybe a little more if it's raining. We'll talk about the weather here in a little bit. But, I'm just excited. So I wanted to share this with you and let you guys know that if you wanted to follow along and see that I'm actually doing it, you can see me as I go along the route. So let me share that little video here with you on how to set that up in case you want to. So the first thing we're going to want to do is download the app. Now I'm on an iPhone, so I just went to the App Store. If you're using, Google Play, whatever, all those things, wherever you get your apps at, just go in there, type in OKC Memorial Marathon. I've already downloaded it, so of course it just had to re-download it because I deleted it to use it for this here, right? So we can walk through it. Answer the notifications however you want. I always say no. You'll be a spectator, so you want to make sure you click on the I'm a spectator there. Otherwise, it's going to send you through several other things, right, to claim your profile kind of thing. But once you get the app loaded up, this is what it looks like. And then you'll want to click tracker at the bottom. It'll bring you to this page, and then search participants. Just put my name in there, Kenneth Lee, right? And there I am from Edmond, Oklahoma. So you can hit that little plus button there onto the right, and that'll load it in so you can track me here. Now, this is going to have a ton of information that'll really make it look kind of messy. So we're going to want to run through it here to get rid of some of this. So if you see those 3 lines up there on the side menu, that'll allow us to take certain layers off, right? So when we click it, that brings us here. So we want to just click on the ones we don't want to show. So make sure that just the 5K is showing. Obviously, I missed the quarter marathon there. So you want all those dark, and then once you get them on there, you can see here now that it'll show you the entire route. That should kind of look familiar. I've had those maps hanging behind me in the videos for a while now. But that's it. It's that easy. Then we just got to wait until Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time when the race begins. And once we do, you'll see me slowly going down that route. So the other way to track me is via a web browser. So I've got this link here. I'll have it in the description of this video. But when we go to it, it's pretty much like the other. It'll load this up. Just click that you're a spectator. And then we want to do the same thing like we did on the app. You can see all of the different routes there, right? Well, we want to get rid of most of those because, no, I won't be going any of that. I might drive that, but that's about it, right? So we want to get rid of those. So you can see over here all this good info about me, but pretty much like the last one, we want to go to layers and we want to take everything out except for the 5K. So we just got to click on them, make sure they go dark, and then that leaves just what we want. So then we can zoom back in and we can see the route here. There's the start line on Harvey between 5th and 6th. This is the OKC Memorial. From my last video, there's that reflecting pool, right? So you can see that we'll be starting right next to it. And then we'll be able to just, follow me along the entire route. Now, if you watch my video where I drove this, some of this should look kind of familiar to you, right? So right here, that's where I did the podcast at. Up here, there's Paycom Center, right? Where the Thunder play. You've got Big Scissortail Park there. There's the convention center that we walk by. That's where we go for the expo. And here's where the Finish Line Festival will be once we're done. There's that finish line. But yeah, we still got to go up and around, right? So through that roundabout, up over the first overpass, and then down past the park here. Now, if you remember, this is where Angie and I cut over. I said we were going one short. We'll go all the way down to 14th and then come back and around for the 5K. This takes us past those blue courts, and if you remember those amazing soccer fields where I showed you how green the grass was, that's right there. Here's another hydration station. Look, it says we've got entertainment of a mariachi band. That'll be weird. I wonder what this one is. Yeah, no idea what that, Tyler Media, that's like a company. So it must be sponsored by them, whatever that is. That'll be interesting to see. No time to really enjoy that because now we got to come up and over that second overpass. And here we go. Now, if you remember at this point in the video where Angie and I were walking, we continued straight right here. Yeah, right down there, but we'll have to do the loop. So we'll come down on 5th and then turn onto Lee Avenue there, South Lee Avenue, before we make that turn onto Oklahoma City Boulevard to the 3-mile mark and then down to the finish line. And that's it. That'll be it. So you'll be able to track me the whole way here, web browser based, if you don't want to do that. So yeah, I mean, that's a couple different ways to do it if you feel up to watching me slowly go along the route. My understanding too is right here they'll have other detailed different statistics, stuff like that. I don't know how much they'll have for a 5K because I know with the marathon there's a lot, but we'll see. So as you can see, you can either download that app or you can just do it via the link to the website. Now I'll drop that link in the comments down below. I'll pin it to the top as long as I remember to do that once this video goes live. Otherwise it will be in the description as well. I don't know, that just, I think it's cool. Anytime I know somebody, or case of Mark, again, I don't really know him, but anytime that he's going to be out running one, I'm going to see if I can track him just to root him along virtually. So I thought maybe some of you guys might like to do that. And if you want to, there's your option to do it. I don't know, like I said, I just think it's kind of cool. So here we sit less than 48 hours away from that 5K. And as I've mentioned in the last couple videos, I've been following the weather, absolutely following the weather just to see what it's going to be like. And it just keeps changing. A couple days ago, it was like literally Saturday, the only day that wasn't going to get any rain. Like, I remember taking a screenshot of that and I sent it to my wife and I said, if this can actually hold, I will be one happy man. That's for sure. Of course, forecast changed. Like the next day it showed thunderstorms, and then the next day just rain, and then, you know, windy and Oklahoma weather, right? Especially for the month of April. It is storm season. We do have some out on the horizon. They're talking like next Tuesday, Wednesday, 29th, 30th or whatever of April. It could get hairy around here. I mean, it could get bad. But then again, they say that all the time, right? So especially this time of year, they talk about these long track tornadoes, and then we don't even see a drop of rain. So that's partially why a lot of people down here just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Tell me when the tornado's on my street, and then I'll worry about it at that point. So I kind of get that. It didn't take me long after moving down here to get jaded like that. But I ain't worried about that stuff that morning, because as we can see here at the forecast, it's going to be, you know, fairly cool that morning. So I plan to wear shorts and a t-shirt. I will still be wearing this t-shirt. Of course I will be wearing this t-shirt. Sent to me by a viewer, Sharon. Again, thank you so much for sending me this shirt. I absolutely love it. You know, it means a lot to me, so it is something I'm definitely going to wear for that. And I'll probably have my white OKC hat on as well. Just something that's not all that heavy, even though it's going to be cool in the morning. And as we could see from that little clip I showed you there, the forecast, they did say there's like 15% chance of rain, though up above it really didn't show any rain coming in until like 12:30. So if that holds, yeah, I'll be all right with that. Absolutely. Looking forward to that morning. Tomorrow is the expo. We're going to go down and get our bibs, get ready, go check it out, see what they've got going on there. It's supposed to be a really cool thing. So it runs from like 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So I think we're going to go down right as it opens. They will be doing a live version of the podcast, like the one that I was on a couple months ago, or a month ago, last month, whatever. It seems like forever ago now. They will be doing it there starting at noon. So that'll be kind of cool to get to see the last one before the actual races that weekend, because the 5K, the senior marathon, and the kids marathon, I think, are all on Saturday. And then Sunday is the marathon, quarter marathon, half marathon. It's all popping off this weekend. It's going to be crazy in downtown Oklahoma City. Very excited about all that. I wish I could go down and root people on Sunday, but I took Saturday off as a vacation day, couldn't get Sunday off. So I'm going to have to work, so I'll be right here, but I will have on the news on my monitor there, I'll have one of the local news stations on, being able to watch and see how it's going and everything, so that'll be exciting. But that's it really. I just wanted to be able to share with you the ability to track me if you so choose to. I am an absolute technology geek, so I love stuff like that. I thought I'd throw out this video just in case some of you might want to. And I'm going to end this video with a couple things here. I'm going to end it with the podcast that I was on. I'm going to go ahead and put that towards the end here, and then me driving that course one more time so you can see it as well. If you haven't watched either one, this is a great chance to do that, especially the podcast. I don't know how many of you went over and watched it on their channel, but thanks to the Oklahoma City Memorial for having me on that. If you haven't already, please go check out their YouTube channel and give it a subscribe as well. It is an amazing, amazing thing that they're doing over there to keep the memory of those 168 that we lost alive. Please do that. But I'm going to end this right here, and I'll play those two clips like I just mentioned. All right, guys, for sure this time the next video will be of the 5K. I will be taking some cameras with me. I know for sure, at least, I got it plugged in here, of course, because, you know, at least I'll have my Osmo with me, right? And we're going to try to also have a GoPro going as well. Don't know if we'll be able to. Angie had hoped to wear a backpack, and we'd read somewhere that they don't allow anything, any kind of thing. So we were hoping to have it on the strap here pointing out, but we'll have to see. We'll see what happens with that. But one way or another, we'll have at least this, and I'm sure there will be people along the way that I know that will be able to take some other video, hopefully, for me. And if not, at least we'll have this one as a POV kind of situation there. Looking forward to it, and I'm just rambling. Quite nervous, excited. I think I've mentioned it before. It's the unknown, right? It's the not knowing exactly how it's going to go. My biggest concern at this point is not the walking 3.1 miles. Again, that will be a definite record for me. It's the standing and waiting, because, you know, like last year they had like 4,500 people in this, right? I don't know yet. I haven't got the email as of today. It's supposed to come out today, so I haven't got it yet. I don't know what corral we're going to be in. I don't know how many different corrals there are. It sounds like it takes about 20 minutes or so to release everybody going, because they kind of do it in groups. So hopefully we're towards one of the earlier ones, and then we don't have to stand and wait as long, because standing is what kills my feet, legs, and ankles. That's really bad on me. So I don't know. Suppose I could sit down on the curb for a little bit, but then it matters getting up, man. I don't know. I haven't done that in years. We'll have a few people with me, so maybe they could help me up. One way or another, we'll figure it out. We'll get to that finish line. We'll celebrate. We'll have a good time. And I'll have a video for you guys next week all about that. So I'm going to end this here. Again, I'm going to roll the footage of the course and then that podcast. Stay around, watch that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, so here we go. This is Harvey between 5th and 6th in downtown Oklahoma City. The start line will be right about here. Off to our left over there, that's the Oklahoma City Bombing Memorial. You can see the green trees over there past that archway that goes in. That right there to the left is where the Alfred P. Murrah building sat. And then, you know, the bombing happened on April 19th, 1995. That was right there. So the first incline of the entire race is right here, right? It's not that big a one compared to what we'll have. But even driving it, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what did I get myself in for? But I'm ready for it. I'll be ready for it, I guess I should say. I don't know. I guess I kind of have to be. So, continuing up, I wish I could go at this pace, honestly, but I'll be much slower. Notice how it's got just a slight little decline right here. I'm sure I'll feel that and notice it. So, our first turn was supposed to be up here in just a little ways, and I'm already noticing that just beyond this light, the road is closed to traffic right now. So I'm going to have to make a left-hand turn here, but the actual race will go one block up, and then it'll take a left on Park. Not a big deal today. I'm just trying to show you, the general area. So I'll go ahead and cut over here to Robinson by taking the left here once I'm able to. Again, it won't be on this street here. It'll be one block up on Park. and we'll join that here in just a little bit. All right, so now we can make that right onto Robinson. This is a pretty busy street usually. Takes you right into the heart of Oklahoma City. Both ways, you can see the streetcar track right there. Run through here. There's one of the stops right here. So this is actually the corner where we'll come. So right here from the right, and then we'll turn and go down Robinson. That right there from the movie Twisters was New York City. You've heard me talk about it before. Yeah, we passed the little cafe where Javi met Kate there when he was in New York City to talk to her. As we continue up here, this building off to the left is where I actually had that interview, right, with the podcast for the Memorial 5K. That's where it was, our Channel News 9. You see the big 9 up there. I don't know how many times I've ridden the streetcar down here. I've taken you guys with me, but that goes left, as you can see the tracks go. Well, we're going straight with the 5K. Off to my right-hand side over here is Myriad Gardens. It's a really nice botanical garden. I've not been there, honestly. I've heard great things about it, but I've never taken the time to go check that out. Maybe I'll do that this summer. But right up here on our left, you can start seeing it now. The brick building over there, that is Paycom Center. You guys have definitely heard me talk about that. That's where the Oklahoma City Thunder play, where I've gone to concerts, all sorts of things right there in that building. See where the streetcar comes around there. It takes you the loop where it made the left earlier, goes down into Bricktown, past the ballpark, and comes back. Continues on up here. Now the finish line will actually be about a block and a half to our right here. This is Scissortail Park. It'll be back there to the right, but we got to make the loop. We need to get our 3.1 miles in, so we're going to have to come up here. And I can already see something that's going to freak me out when I do this, because this walk through here, I've actually never driven it until I made this drive. I've never been to this part of town. And then look at that overpass right there. Yeah, that's I-40 that we're going to go up and over. And we're actually going to do it twice, but this is the first of the 2 times. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to go. I don't know, I really wish this whole thing was level. I do better on level ground, but we'll see. I know this is going to slow me down. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do. It's just going to slow me down, so I'm going to have to do the best that I can on the ground where I can. So then when I lose a little bit of time here, it won't be too bad. Again, I'm not really trying to set any kind of record. I want to complete it. They give you an hour and 50. So that's, what I want to do. Get it done in an hour and 50. But I would like to have it done in about 90 minutes or so. At least that's what I was thinking until I went and drove this course, because, yeah, this right through here, not too bad. Not too bad at all. As a matter of fact, where we would actually take a right up here, I can't do it because we're going to go through this park over here. We can't do it in the car, but we'll actually have to take on 14th. We take a right, which leads us through the park. And that is right about, where's the crosswalk at? Right here. This is where we'll actually cut over and go to the other side. Since I can't, kind of like that street being closed, I'm going to circle around and then we'll pick up the course where we continue on. So this part won't be on it, which is good because you see how it went up. And if we actually came all the way up here and made the turn, I think it makes the entire course like 3.5 or 3.6 miles by the time we get back to where we would actually cut across at. So yeah, I'll be cutting across like we're supposed to. So as we come back down this side, it's this park here. I've never heard of it at all. So again, never been to this part of town. Never been really, I don't think. Well, first off, we'll come right here. This is where we'll come out. And then we start heading up Harvey here. I don't think I've been to this part at all, like I was saying. I don't think I've really been south of the 40, which is that overpass we went over, except for when I'm headed down to like Norman or taking the 35 down to Dallas or Houston or something, right? So it'll be interesting to walk through here. It was interesting to drive through here, see a lot of these businesses that I didn't know were here. And then just up here on our right, there's actually some quartz. I had no idea. Check it out. Blue. Yeah, you can barely see it off to the right there. Great view of downtown though. Look at the Devon Tower, that one straight ahead, the biggest tower in Oklahoma City. And then there's the bridge, the footbridge right there too that you can see. That thing looks really cool lit up at night. But again, through here, had no idea. So I guess this will be a cool way to get to see part of the city, right? Look at these soccer field over here. I have, again, no idea that was there. As you know, been here for 3 years, just a little over 3 years, and had no clue about any of this stuff down here. So thanks to the Oklahoma City Memorial 5K for getting me to even more of my hometown, I guess I could say. But look at this turn now. This is the one that I'm really, really dreading. Because when you come off of that and you take the right onto Walker there to come up and over the overpass, you pretty much just start climbing almost immediately. Yeah. I will be very, very thankful once we get over it here. So we only have a couple of turns left. This takes us the left onto 5th, where we've got about 2 blocks roughly. But again, it's level. By this point, I'm sure I'm just going to be exhausted already. But there's something coming up here that I know will excite me. I just know it will. I could feel it. I already knew driving it. I'm like, yeah, I can already feel when I'm walking through here. You go to take this right here. This street is South Lee Avenue. That's right, my last name, Lee. So by the time we get to this point, we've got 1 turn left on the entire race, right? So I know the adrenaline's going to kick in at that point. I know I'm going to be hurting. I know I'm going to be tired. But I know that adrenaline will kick in because, I mean, it seems to be meant to be, right? I mean, what are the odds that the next to last street would be my last name? So 1 more block here until our final turn. By the way, I love seeing the trees in bloom. It's that time of year. This was the first day of spring when I made this drive. Gorgeous day here in Oklahoma City. And here we go, onto Oklahoma City Boulevard. This will now take us back towards Scissortail Park. So if you remember when we came by it and I said the finish line would be off to our right, it is now straight ahead of us here. So not much longer. We've just got about 2.5, 3 blocks to go to that finish line. And by this time, you'll definitely be able to see it out ahead of there because it's before the Omni Hotel over there. You can see the Omni sticking up straight ahead between the street lights there. Got 1 block left at this point. And thank goodness we don't have to deal with lights, right? They're going to have all that shut down, all the streets shut down for us. So that's a good thing. My understanding is this will be lined with photos of the people that were lost in the bombing, but right about here will be the finish line. And at that point, we're done.
Our first guest, Ken Lee, is running the 5K. And Ken, you have quite an inspiring story to share with us. This is your first 5K race and the start of a health journey for you.
Yeah, actually, it's a continuation of a health journey. This is trying to find a way to push myself just a little bit further. In the last just over 2.5 years, I've lost 263 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm always looking for something to, as my shirt says, keep moving forward. And so this, I felt, was a good next step, and what better way than to do the memorial. It's a great way to honor those that we lost that day,
Yeah.
and to push myself just a little bit further. In
Well, first of all, the statement, keep moving forward, is so true. We all need to remember it in this crazy time. So congratulations for the work you're doing and for stepping up and keep moving forward. And the 5K is an awesome place to start, and you'll have lots of people around to support you. So we're excited to get you out there.
You know, it was actually a couple weeks ago, maybe, you, Carrie, made a comment. You were talking to, was it Chris Hale from Red Coyote? You mentioned that to some people, the 5K is their marathon.
Right.
And I was on my treadmill. I'm like, yes, she's talking to me, because that's exactly right. That is exactly the way I feel, because I just, even 2.5, 3 years ago, had to have a cane everywhere I went. I could barely walk. I do have braces on both of my feet and ankles that I have to have. And I've come a long ways. And even the thought of doing a 5K, oh man, that was never something that I could ever even dream
super
of.
Inspiring. So how's your training going?
It's going good. You know, I joined Crunch Gym up in Edmond, and so I've been going in at least 2 to 3 days a week. And on top of that, I have a treadmill at home because, as you know, it's been, gosh, awful
Beautiful weather.
cold lately.
Well, it's been the thing about Oklahoma is it's been both. We've
Right.
had the extreme cold and some beautiful
Yeah.
days.
Exactly. So I got to treadmill last year because there was no way I was going to be out in that 100+ degree heat
Right.
trying
Right.
to walk, you know. I did that one time down around Lake Hefner, and I'm like, not anymore. So I'm hoping to get back out there around the lake this next week. It's supposed to be good weather, not too hot, not too cold. So they've got a great walking path for people and for everybody. So people like me that are pretty slow, people just, you know.
So what would you say to somebody who was in your shoes maybe, a year or 2 years ago? What was your motivation to
what
start
started
this
you?
journey?
I got to the point where when I couldn't walk, when it hurt to just even walk into work, you know, it was just too painful. I knew I needed to make a change. I needed to do something. And I've always been a big guy all my life, honestly. At that point, I was 595 pounds. I had been as high years ago, back in the late 90s, as 680. So I've always been big. Never knew why. I mean, I didn't eat like my friends do, you know, that kind of thing. And I just needed to make that change. And I hurt a knee, went into a doctor, and I had, for the first time, had a doctor tell me, you need to lose weight. And at that, he struggled. He kept looking at the wall, looking at me. And so I even said to him, Doc, are you telling me I have to? He's like, if you don't, you're going to have knee replacement surgery. So I said, okay, here we go. And that was the start of it. And now I've always thought that people were crazy when they would say, you know, their body craves activity, craves exercise. That's me now. If I'm not on my treadmill for a few days, or if I'm not at the gym, like, got that nasty bug that pretty much everybody got a few weeks ago, you know, and I had to skip going into the gym, and my body's like, what are you doing? You know, and I got to that point now, and that's exciting too, because that's something I never thought I would
That's
have.
great.
Right.
Well, there's no better time than now to get out of your comfort zone and push yourself. How do you, what words do you have for others to get up and get moving?
Just keep moving forward, small steps. I mean, it might seem like the smallest of steps that you're making, but if you make even a tiny step forward every single day, eventually you're going to look back and go, whoa, I was way back there, just like me. You know, when I look back at my weight loss journey so far, and I've still got a long way to go, but I look back and go, those days, the day to day, the week to week, seemed like I wasn't doing anything, maybe a pound, pound and a half here. Then I'd have some weeks where it'd be even more. But that moving forward, finding something every single day that can make yourself better, that can do something good for yourself, it's going to add up.
Yeah, though that's a really motivational story. If people want to know more about your story, I hear they can follow you. Where can people find you?
I'm on YouTube at Fat Guy No More.
Okay.
Literally just like it sounds. It's an old story. I had a doctor that told me after looking at my blood work, you know, you've got to be the healthiest fat guy I've ever seen. Not diabetic, cholesterol was great. And I told him back then, I said, Doc, I want to be a fat guy no more though. And so it just stuck with me. So I've got it on YouTube. I've been tracking my entire journey. And now, just as of yesterday, I announced that I'll be doing the 5K on there.
Great.
A lot of people they want to come down and be there to watch me come across
how
that finish
inspirational.
line. So
Very
Are
inspirational.
you nervous about that, or?
scared to death. I mean, honestly, I think it's the fear of failure, what happens, you know. I'm pretty good at walking on level ground,
Of course, the course isn't level. You know, we know that.
Yeah.
And then what happens if, you know, Oklahoma weather happens and it's raining that morning, and, you know, I don't know. And
You keep moving forward.
that's it. You just, even if it takes me longer to complete it,
Right.
as long as, I look at it as victories, look for certain victories. I never really set goals. I like to say, I like to celebrate the milestones. So whenever I pass certain things, well, with this one, I got to be ready by the 26th, right? And so I got 2 months for it, but I've been working on it. But that day, in my mind, just at the start line, that's a victory.
It really is, Ken. And I just want to say, you just remember why we run this race. And your journey is so much like the families who lost loved ones or survivors or even the first responders is they go forward and they have to come back, but they keep moving forward. And that is the journey of the 25th marathon, the 30th anniversary of the bombing, is people have figured out how to move forward. And it's not always at the same speed, not always at the same place, but congratulations to you for stepping up to do it. And we'll get you to the finish line, I promise you.
Absolutely. What an
Looking forward to
inspirational
it.
story. Thanks for sharing it with us.
And it is your marathon. If Kristen would let me run, it'd be my marathon too, but she won't let me.
I'll let you do backflips, though.
Yeah, but congratulations for doing this and for stepping up to do it and for running to remember it. That your story is inspirational, and it's why we have this race. And I thank you for doing that.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me here today.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Wow, what a story.
Super inspirational. And I love the reminder, Carrie, that, you know, you don't have to run 26.2 miles to be a part of this marathon.
That's right.
You can run the 5K. We've got the kids marathon. You have the senior marathon. There's
Now the quarter.
Now the quarter. There's a place for so many people to get involved, and it's just,
You can cheer and volunteer. You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just love those kind of stories, and I love that that they know they can be a part of this. Everyone can be a part of this race. It is not for just the elites. And what I also love is some of the legends who'll be out there. They'll make sure he gets to the finish line. I can
oh,
promise.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. And that'll be quite the celebration.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my journey to become a fat guy no more, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video.